Hello everyone. Today we will start our new chapter in Crash, that is the structural organization of animals, in which we'll study about the animal tissues, the morphology of the cockroach, earthworm and the frog, right? In that chapter, that animal tissue, we know that the tissue is the basic chapter of the whole, for the study of whole zoology, right? Actually, so that animal tissue morphology of cockroach, earthworm and frog comes under that structural organization of animals, right? First, it is the structure of tissue dash tissue, right? 3 is secreted by dash phagocytic cell is while dash secretes mediator of the allergy, right? This is given in NCERT page number 103, right? NCERT page number 103, clear? In which that one is the macrophages, right? That one is the macrophages, 2 is the fibroblast, that 3 is the collagen fibers, and that 4th one is the mast cells, right? That diagram, that is the figure number in NCERT, this is the figure number 7.4, right? 7.4, in which that first shows the macrophages, right? That second shows the fibroblast cells. These macrophagic cells are the phagocytic cells which engulf the foreign particles or any kind of that particle which harmful for our body. Fibroblasts, these are the fiber forming cells. Right, these are the fiber forming cells. Actually, when we talk about the loose connective tissue proper, in loose connective tissue proper there are two types, that is areolar tissue and the adipose tissue, right? Areolar tissue is present just beneath the epithelia, right? Just beneath the epithelia areolar tissue is present, and it provides the supports and the organs, the shape of the organs, right? It has different kinds of cells. First one is the fibroblast cells. These fibroblast cells are the fiber forming cells, right? These are the fiber forming cells. And what the function of these are the principal cell actually, right? These are the principal cell of the areolar tissue. Why? Because they synthesize two proteins, that is collagen and the elastin, right? The collagen and the elastin protein is synthesized by the fibroblast cells. And as we know that the collagen is very important because it helps in the formation of the collagen protein, and collagen protein helps in the repairing of the internal injuries and all these things. Even it prevents from the wrinkles of the skin, right? So this is the fibroblast cell, the fiber forming cell. Second cell of the areolar tissue is the macrophages, which is also known as the histiocytes, also known as the plasmatocytes, right? They are phagocytic in function. Third cell is the plasma cells, which is also known as the cartwheel cells, right? And they secretes the antibodies. They secretes the antibodies, right? Then the next one is the mast cells, which are known as the mastocytes, right? Mast cell, which is known as the mastocytes. These mastocytes actually they acts as a defensive cell, right? They secrete 3 basophilic granules. They secrete 3 basophilic granules. First one is the histamine. That histamine is known as, it is actually inflammatory. It is inflammatory substance, right? And it is also known as the vasodilator. Second is the heparin. Heparin is natural anticoagulant. Right, natural anticoagulant. And the third one is the serotonin. That serotonin is the vasoconstrictor, right? That serotonin is known as the vasoconstrictor. So that's why the mast cell or the mastocytes, they secrete 3 basophilic granules, that is the histamine, heparin and the serotonin, right? Serotonin is vasoconstrictor, that means it constricts the blood vessels, right? So these kinds of cells are present in the areolar tissue, right? All these cells are present in the areolar tissue. So now this is the structure of areolar tissue. 3 is that is collagen fibers is secreted by the 2, that is the fibroblast, right? Phagocytic cells is the 1, that is the macrophages, while mast cells, that is while 4 secretes the mediators of the allergy, right? So the answer is areolar fibroblast 1-4. Areolar fibroblast 1-4, no. Areolar fibroblast 1-2, no. Areolar fibroblast 1-4, that is answer is the D. Right, answer is D. Now come to the, and one more thing, areolar tissue is the type of connective tissue, loose connective tissue proper, which is found in most abundant form in the body, right? Most abundant connective tissue present in body. Clear? Now come to the next one, that is match the column. There are 2 columns, right? Squamous epithelium, the most characteristic feature of that, it is thin squamous, thin flat scale like cells, right? And it is present where rapid filtration and diffusion takes place, right? So rapid filtration and diffusion takes place, that is 4. Right, 4 involved in diffusion as well Inner surface of hollow organ like, that is the function of the ciliated, that is D. Right, air sacs of the lungs, that is alveoli of lung, is also lined with the simple squamous epithelium, because there here the rapid diffusion, filtration and diffusion takes place. Right, when we talk about the cuboidal, the function of the columnar, and according to NCERT, when we go for the NCERT, then what will happen here? Squamous, the wall of vessel also is related with the squamous. Right, now the cuboidal is secretion and the absorption, columnar lining the stomach. So A, 2, 4 and 6, 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, right. So it is only present in second option, the rest of the options are cancelled. B1, right, in columnar it lines the stomach and the intestine. But listen carefully, in NCERT the secretion and absorption is also given in the function of the columnar, but as we know that the stomach and intestine is lined with the columnar in all these tissues, that's why we prefer the columnar for this option, right. So the answer is the Bombay. Listen, this is the type of simple epithelia, right. Squamous, thin, flat, scale-like cells, right, also known as pavement membrane or tessellated epithelium. Right, pavement membrane or the tessellated epithelium. Then it has present location where rapid filtration and diffusion takes place, right, where rapid filtration and diffusion takes place. When we talk about the example, so the inner lining of the lung alveoli and the blood vessels, the Bowman's capsule, the glomerulus, reti testis, right, all these are the examples of the simple squamous epithelium, right. Now come to the next, that is the cuboidal. It's cube-like, polygonal, cells, right, they are the cube-like polygonal cells, that is the basement membrane. These are the cuboidal cells, and free surfaces of the cuboidal cells has the microvilli on their free surfaces, which gives a brush-like appearance, right, which gives a brush-like appearance. So they are these type of brush bordered simple cuboidal epithelium is present where the maximum absorption occurs, right. Actually, when we talk about the location of the cuboidal, so it is present in the excretory ducts and the ducts of the various organs, right. ducts and glands of various organs, right? When we talk about the function, so the function is secretion and absorption, right? It is present in the covering of the ovaries, thyroid vesicles, pancreatic duct, respiratory bronchioles, right? PCT, DCT, and in PCT, brush bordered cuboidal epithelium is present, right? In PCT, brush bordered cuboidal epithelium is present, right? When we talk about the next one, that is the columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium, that means it is column like, right? It is the column like, that is the long tall pillar like cells, right? These are the long tall pillar like cells. Long tall pillar like cells, and the speciality of the columnar epithelium is the nucleus is situated at the basal part, right? That's why the nucleus is called the basal nucleus. Same as that, its free border carries the microvilli on their free surfaces, right? Microvilli on their free surfaces. So brush border columnar epithelial cells, right? Brush bordered columnar epithelial cells. Now when we talk about the examples, it covers the stomach, the gallbladder, right, and the intestine, gastric glands, intestinal glands, right? And intestinal glands are present in the mucosa, right? And that's why in intestine the maximum absorption occurs there, right? That's why the brush bordered columnar epithelium is present in the intestinal mucosa. Clear? Now come to the next. Which junction facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjoining cells? That it is called the gap junction, right? It is called the gap junction. This is a question of pre-medical 2020 NEET, 2015 NEET. Clear? This question is asked in 2015, that is the gap junction facilitate the cell to communicate with each other, right? Gap junction is also known as the nexus, or which is also known as the macula communicans. Tight junction is known as the zonula occludens, right? Tight junction is also known as the zonula occludens. That zonula occludens, actually that tight junction zonula occludens, it helps to stop the substance leaking across the tissue, right? And just below than that, intermediate junction is present, which is known as the zonula adherens, which comes under that adhering junction, right? In that adhering junction, there are some junctions are present, which is called the intermediate junctions, which is also known as the zonular adherence, interdigitation, right, and desmosomes are also the adhering junction, right? It also acts as the adhering junctions, which is also known as the macular adherence, right? So these are the junctions of the some specialized type of the junctions which is present in the epithelial tissue, right? Now come to the next, that is which tissue serves as a support framework for the epithelium, that is the areolar tissue, because it provides the shape of the organ. Clear? Adipose tissue is the type of loose connective tissue which they are of two types, the brown adipose tissue and the white adipose tissue, and brown adipose tissue is the thermogenic tissue, right? Brown adipose tissue is the thermogenic tissue. Come to the next, that is tendon connects tendons joints. Tendon is a type of white fibrous tendon is a type of white fibrous connective tissue, right? Tendon is a type of the white fibrous connective tissue. It joins the bones with the skeletal muscle, right? But if in option, given option, the option is the it connects bone to muscle, that is also correct, but the most appropriate if that see here, right, bone to bone, that is ligament, muscle to muscle, no, muscle to bone, exactly all of the above, no. But if instead of that all of the above, if there is the option is bone to skeletal muscle is also there, then will not take that, it is most appropriate, right? So that in that case the answer will be D, right? So mark this, if it this type of question asks, then you have to choose the most appropriate answer in that question, right? So in that the answer is fifth, that is muscle to bone. Come to the next, which junction forms cementing layer to keep the neighboring cells together? This is the function of the adhering cells, right? This is the function of the adhering cell. Adhere, that means neighboring cell. It connects the neighboring cells with each other, right? So the answer is Bombay. Come to the next one. Skeletal muscle is voluntary muscle, okay, it is voluntary muscle. Involved in transportation of food through the digestive tract, no. Muscle cell assemble in branching pattern, no. Involved in locomotion action, skeletal muscle, exactly, right, that is one. The visceral muscle, no. Non-striated, no. Or non-striated functionally but striated morphologically, no, right? So A is go, one is go with the A and D, right? One is go with the A and D, that is these both options are there, B and C cancelled. Now what? Smooth muscles that is involved in the transportation of food through the digestive tract, correct. Muscle cells assemble in the branching pattern, no. These are the visceral muscles, exactly. Non-striated muscles, no, right? And now, so the 2 is go with the B and E. Cardiac muscle is go with the muscle cell assembled in the branching pattern. Yes, intermediate junctions are found in between these, right? So C3 non-striated, exactly, non-striated. They are non-striated functionally but striated morphologically. So the most appropriate is the G, that is third. Functionally they are non-striated, that means we say that, na, listen, cardiac muscles have these striations actually, right? Cardiac muscles have these striations, that's why we cannot say that they are the non-striated muscles, right? They have these striations, but in that option, functionally non-striated, matlab functionally they are the involuntary muscles, na, cardiac muscles are involuntary, but they are striated morphologically, so that's why the most appropriate is the third one. So now in that, answer is A. Clear? Sorry. In question number 8, right, identify the indicating points 1 and 2 respectively, right, 1 and 2 respectively, and one is these are the unicellular gland actually, right, these are the unicellular gland, right, these are the unicellular gland, and that 2 is the multicellular gland. These are the multicellular gland and these are the unicellular gland. Okay. So now identify the 1 and 2, that is unicellular and multicellular. So answer is A, 8th A, right? Actually these unicellular gland and the multicellular gland are the type of the glandular epithelium. They are the type of the glandular epithelium, right? That is glandular epithelium, the glands which consist of the ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. They are the subspecialized cells of the epithelium which gets combined to form a gland, right? On the basis of number of cells, they are of two types. On the basis of number of cells, they are of two types, right? First one is the unicellular gland and second is the multicellular gland, right? Unicellular, that means single cell. Multicellular, that means they have the multiple cells. The examples of the unicellular glands are the goblet cells, right? They are the exocrine, unicellular exocrine cells, the Pence cells which are present in the jejunum, clear, which are present in the jejunum. Multicellular glands, rest of the glands are the multicellular gland, right? When we talk about the next one, that is on the basis of branches of cells, right? On the basis of the branches of the cells, they are of two types. First one is the simple gland and second is the compound gland, right? In simple gland there are 5 types. First one is the simple tubular, right? The example is the crypts of Leber-Cohen, which is the folded mucous membrane of the small intestine. Crypts of Leber-Cohen, right, which is the folded mucous membrane of small intestine. Second is the simple alveolar. Example is the mucous glands in the skin of frog and poisonous glands in toad. Third is simple coil tubular sweat gland. Branched tubular that is the gastric glands, and the fifth is the simple branched alveolar simple branched alveolar. The example is the sebaceous gland. Right. So, these are the types of the simple gland, and same as that when we talk about the compound gland. There are 3 types of compound gland: compound tubular, compound tubular gland, compound tubular gland. Examples are the mucous glands in the mouth, and the Cowper's gland, right. Second is the compound tubulo-alveolar gland, compound alveolar gland. Examples are the pancreatic duct, mammary gland, parotid, salivary gland, right, etc. And the third last is the compound alveolar or compound saccular submaxillary and sublingual salivary gland. They are the examples of the compound tubulo, right? Same as that, on the basis of mode of secretion, there are three types of glands and they are very important from the examination point of view. Holocrine gland, merocrine gland, which is also known as the eccrine, and third one is the apocrine gland. Right? Holocrine gland example is the sebaceous glands, merocrine gland example is the pancreas, salivary glands and intestinal glands and sweat glands. Apocrine example, mammary gland and axillary sweat gland, right? On the basis of presence and absence of duct, presence and absence of ducts, right? There are three types. First one is the exocrine gland, these are the glands with ducts. Examples: salivary gland, tear glands, right? Gastric glands. Second is the endocrine glands, glands without duct, for example pituitary, thyroid, pineal, hypothalamus, right, etc. There are so many glands, and the third one is the heterocrine gland, right. The third one is the heterocrine gland. These heterocrine glands are in mixed in nature, that means they are exocrine as well as endocrine, right. They are exocrine as well as the endocrine. So when we talk about the heterocrine gland, heterocrine, what is the meaning of that heterocrine? That means simply they acts as a exocrine as well as endocrine. For example, the pancreas, the testes, the ovaries. Clear? So these are the heterocrine glands, right? So this is the whole classification of the glandular epithelium, and the examples are important, right?